Hi, welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on Hot Topics TV. Alright, let's get right into the topic. This is day 15, right? Today is the 18th of the 7th, and today will be day 16, but this is day 15 from yesterday. Okay, so at this point, what happened was the main detective, Detective Mark Moretti, he got back on the stand. He resumed his testimony. That was Monday morning, right? The state, who brought him in as their witness, the state only had a few more questions to ask Detective Mark Moretti. And they did. And then now it was time for YNW Melly's lawyers to dig in. Yo, pause. YNW Melly's lawyer, he has 3 lawyers. The female that sits right by his side like a babysitter, and then you have the black dude, and then you have the bald-headed white dude, right? So the bald-headed white dude gets up to do the cross-examination and whatnot, and he's asking Detective Mark Moretti a whole lot of questions, of course, but is it me, or he has the illest attitude? It's as if he's angry. It's as if the detective has done something wrong to him. It's as if he is mad at the detective. Every question he asks, didn't you? You did. And you can hear the whole lot of objection, Your Honor, and the judge is like, sustained. Hey, counsel, don't make me have to tell you again. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm sorry. He knows he knows that he's overstepping his boundaries, and he knows he's being disrespectful and harsh, but he's got to put up his work, right? He has to try to poke holes in everything that the lead detective, Detective Mark Moretti, brings to the table. That's his job, or else his client is going to jail for life, possibly getting the death penalty. At this stage of the game, it's up in the air, man. During cross-examination, Detective Moretti admitted to threatening several witnesses that were involved in the investigation, including threats of deportation and jail time. Now, if you know anything about this type of stuff, you will know that if a confession or information is given under duress, it might not be admissible in court. And if it is admissible in court, it could cause for the whole case to be thrown out. If they can prove that a police officer took you into a back room, whooped your ass, or threatened you, I'm gonna kill you, boy, you better tell me where that, you better say that's what it is. And you know, you ended up saying, yes, officer, that is what it was Melly that did it. That can make them lose the whole case. So actually, that was a small win for YNW Melly's attorneys to have the lead detective, Detective Moretti, admit to threatening several witnesses that were involved in the investigation, including threats of deportation and jail time. Now, if you look at it at another angle, though, is it really a threat, though? Because this is how detectives question all the time, right? The kind of threat that Detective Moretti did, he didn't tell anybody he was going to kill them. He didn't tell anybody he was going to beat their ass. He pretty much said stuff to them like, you know what you got yourself into, right? Now listen to me. This is a double homicide. You're facing a whole lot of time, right? You don't want to go down for this by yourself. You know, you've only been in America for a couple of years. You're not even a citizen in the U.S., right? They can revoke your permanent residency and send you back to Haiti. And you know what the prison conditions in Haiti are like. You'll be locked up in Haiti without medical attention, without proper food and water, all that. And that's what he was saying to the person, right? So and detectives say that all the time. I don't know if y'all watch First 48, where they're like, hey man, come on now. You're looking at a whole lot of time here. Do you want to go do this time by yourself? This is like 60, 70 years for a crime like this. You want to go do this time by yourself, Jojo? or you want to tell who else was there with you, and maybe we can, say something in your favor, work up a deal where you can actually get less time, whatever. Woo woo. Detective Moretti admitted to threatening several witnesses involved in the investigation. Now, here's the thing. The jury probably doesn't care that he did, because he didn't put a gun to their head and he didn't tell them he was going to kill them or harm them. So the threat is just him speaking harshly to them. He could have lied. He could have obviously lied and said, I didn't say that. I don't remember saying anything like that. But, understand and being completely honest, or trying to be completely honest, he said, yeah, he did. Now, here's another thing. When Detective Mark Moretti, which is the lead detective in this, when he took the stand and they started asking him if he threatened anybody with deportation or with jail time, he just said yes. That was a wise thing to do, because if he said no and it showed up later on that he did, then it would show that the detective himself might have an ulterior motive. He's just trying to win a case. He's trying to seal this case with a guilty verdict, and he is not being truthful. So if we cannot trust him to be truthful with that piece of information, God knows what else he's lying about, right? So I'm glad that he actually said straight up, like, yes, I did. I said that. And they moved on with the case. In this case, YNW Melly lawyers really don't have anything to go off of, man. They are truly grabbing for straws, in my opinion. The state has now rested its case, meaning the state has now said all they have had to say. This is it. The state have said everything. Now it's the defense turn, YNW Melly's lawyers' turn, to poke holes into everything that the state has said to make sure that their client's able to get off. Now, if you look at YNW Melly's demeanor throughout this portion of the courtroom, this portion of the case, you can see a big difference. There are times where he is just blank. Before, when the prosecution was talking, I'm pretty sure his attorneys were telling him, like, yeah, don't worry about that. We're going to rebuttal that, and we'll have evidence or some kind of other piece of information that will make that null and void. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. And he kept feeling confident. Well, now that they are the ones that are doing the cross-examination and stuff, he's sitting there looking like, oh, damn. Like, damn. He has that look on his face a lot of times. Of course, he's trying to muster up a smile every now and then, because I can imagine the lady that's sitting next to him is telling him, just keep your head up, smile, stay calm. You have to give the jury, that look like, I know I'm innocent and I know I'm coming out. That's the kind of look you have to give the jury. You can't give the jury like a guilty, defeated kind of look. Because believe it or not, even your courtroom presence plays a huge part in what the verdict might become. All that stuff Melly was doing earlier, that might come back to haunt him as well. Remember when he was laughing, digging in his mouth, digging in his underarm, smelling his fingers, obviously was telling jokes, talking to people on the side, all kinds of stuff, right? That might come back to haunt him, because at the time when he was doing it, they were going through some pretty serious pieces of evidence, to include pictures of the crime scene, pictures of the vehicle being shot up, pictures of inside of the vehicle where there was a whole lot of blood splatter and bullet holes. And these were, the blood splatter, bullet holes, those were all signs of where your two best friends had died. Now, the biggest thing about this case that you're probably not paying attention to is this. When YNW Bortland showed up to the area hospital, to the Miami area hospital, claiming that his friends were hit during a drive-by shooting, he said that they had been bleeding out in the car, according to the rapper's arrest affidavit. YNW Bortland did not tell the police officers that YNW Melly was there. These are parts of the case we can't forget. He did not tell them that YNW Melly was there with him in the car. Right. But guess what? YNW Melly, when he went in for his questioning or turned himself in or whatever, he was asked to turn himself in because they discovered that he was there. And because he has a past with law enforcement, that is why they brought him into custody and kept him there. So this is Jamel Demons, or Demons, whatever way you want to say it. And here he is, pops up on our radar again. He's been in issues where a gun was the topic before. He had been in shooting before, or a shooting before. He had been in situations with the law where he was locked up before, right? And here we are again. He pops up on the radar and he's trying to hide. He's trying to say he wasn't there at the scene at all, when we now have proof that he was. This is the reason why he was locked up, and this is the reason why he was held. And then they started trying to figure out, well, why was he trying to hide? And why did Bortland not say he was there? All this evidence is starting to mount up to say he was there. A key piece of evidence, the cell tower site says that he was with the bodies in that vehicle and with Bortland up until a few minutes before Bortland went right to go to the hospital and Melly went left. After Melly went left, cell site information says that he called Fredo Bang to come pick him up from wherever he was at walking. So he was there, and that's already stacked against him, and there's nothing they can do to change that information, right? And again, the jury, they're not idiots. The jury is going to look at all this and say, why did you lie that you were there? Why is your defense team still trying to say you were not there? We have now proven that the phone was yours. We have now proven that the phone was in your possession, all of which you had said you were not there. You see, if Melly's team had said, yes, he was there, they did get in the car, they left outside of the cameras that were on the recording studio, and a few blocks away, Melly decided to switch rides. He got into the red car and they went home. He left Bortland with Sack Chaser and Juvie in that vehicle. So, of course, and he accidentally left his phone in the car as well. He was calling Sack Chaser, trying to get him to bring his phone to him. Don't know what was happening. And later on, we heard that a drive-by had happened and 2 of them had been shot. He would have been scot-free by now. But that's not the case. That's not the case. He was there. And he is still withholding information. This isn't going to be one of those cases where you get to walk away just by staying quiet. It was 4 people in a vehicle and 2 are dead. One of you have a gunshot residue on your hand. One of you drove the bodies to the hospital and said that the shooting occurred at a location where detectives went and looked, and there was no shooting, evidence of shooting there. But they found the murder scene, and they were able to find where they reconstructed the murder scene, or they did their thing. They were able to find that by phone information. Now, Melly's manager, according to what I've been hearing, seems to be the one that had given the phone to the detectives. Now, I'm thinking, how did he get a hold of Melly's phone? Did Melly give him the phone to throw away and the gun to discard of it? He was like, give me those. I'll get rid of them so they'll never come back to you. And then he get caught up with the detective, Mr. Moretti, and Mr. Moretti starts threatening him with deportation. We're going to deport your ass back to Haiti. You're going to be in prison in Haiti. And when you get there, you know how those prisons are. No medical attention, no food and water and whatever. And he was like, oh, man, okay, here, I got the phone. Here, you can have it. And handed the phone over to the detectives. Is he on the low helping prosecution, because we don't see him at trial. He's not there in the courtroom. And you would think that he would be there to show some support for... Hell, Boosie showed up. You would think that YNW Melly's attorney would be there to show some support for Melly, right? Right. He's not there. And he is who they got Melly's phone from. Think. I say it again. Not only that, just remember this, right? YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser, they're dead. Bortland Henry, or Cortland Henry, who is his real name, he's out on bond. He's facing his own murder trial. He will have to save himself. So I'm pretty sure, and now that the defense, or now that the prosecution is done talking, we now know that they're not going to call Cortland to the stand to testify against Melly. It's just too late to do that. It's gone already. So what does that leave them now? That means, and Melly's lawyers are still trying to pin this on Bortland. If they're successful at pinning this on Bortland or Cortland Henry, and Melly walks, Cortland Henry is fried from the beginning to the end, done. But I have a strong suspicion that there's absolutely no way that YNW Melly is going to walk from this, based on all the evidence that has been stacked against him. We're going to leave this one right here. Today, we will be watching day 16, and we will give you our little take on what went down and what we think the outcome is going to be. We're getting closer to a verdict, y'all. A lot of people want this to be over with. Win, lose, or draw. What side are you on? Who do you say? You say the state's winning, or you say YNW Melly is going to walk? And why? Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. I'm out. Peace.